Welcome to a demo of MEDICI, FinTech's global knowledge network brought to you by Let's Talk Payments. MEDICI is really the place that is connecting and building FinTech's ecosystem. The MEDICI platform is built off a few different pillars that we'll go through in depth and talk about how, as a bank or financial institution, you'd use the MEDICI platform to engage with your financial services network. Those pillars are research, companies, investors, and innovation programs and events. Let's Talk Payments has been around for 4.5 years, exclusively researching and covering the financial technology industry. And we've been helping shaping that conversation and understanding what's coming in fintech and the financial services industry. And we think sharing this information and giving you a platform to engage with the companies, people, and ideas is critical to your success. So I'll go through each of the pillars up front to give you a sense of what makes up the underlying foundation of MEDICI. We'll spend the most time in the company profile section and the reports portal. So the first piece of MEDICI is that ecosystem, understanding who the players are. And so we start with a directory of investors. And while we don't partner with every single one of these investors, some are clients, but mostly it's important for everyone in the ecosystem to understand who are the investors in fintech and what are they interested in. So these are simple profiles where people can come and claim it, but it's something that the MEDICI analysts take a look at and say, who is 500 Startups? How do I get in touch with them? Where are they located and what are their segments? And look at their portfolio companies as well. We also look at innovation programs, and these are accelerators, incubators, corporate venture arms, corporate accelerators, and geographically based hubs, such as Singapore, Atlanta, or Charlotte, North Carolina. Again, we partner with many of these, and we'll come back to how this may be applicable to you, but we also have a directory of other innovation and accelerator programs throughout the world that are just of interest. So each of these, as you can see, has their own particular profile and understanding of who they are, their portfolio companies again, and if we've written about them on Let's Talk Payments. The third piece is the research portal, which has research that is created from the MEDICI research team. We syndicate research for this portal, so you can buy ad hoc, but it also can come with your subscription. So we cover a lot of different topics, such as traditional research reports, value chains, fintech foresights, and we look at things like blockchain, payments, lending, the entire fintech ecosystem. Again, we'll come back to this particular section later on in the demo. The last piece and the most substantial piece is the companies. So today we have over 8,000 fintech companies globally that we track and have in this portal, as well as we're constantly adding and creating and on the lookout for companies every day, whether those are companies being created or companies shutting down in the fintech ecosystem. We want to make sure you have a complete picture of who is trying to make a difference, new potential partners, potential acquirers, potential vendors of yours to make your future financial services better. So we're going to spend a little time in the company profiles going through what's in here, and you'll see how these interrelate back to the innovation programs as well as the research portal. So as a bank, you may come in here and you may be having a specific project or a specific initiative or trying to understand a little bit more about the market in a certain segment. One of the great things that we bring to the table as the MEDICI team in this 4.5 years of focus exclusively on fintech research is that we've been thinking about and taxonomizing and putting this and organizing the information in fintech. So at the bottom left here, you're going to see the first way you can sort through the 8,000 plus companies that are growing in the MEDICI database. So we took a look and continuously are updating this taxonomy, which is structuring not only how fintech companies are sorted and organized, but it helps you get to the right companies faster. So we don't just have payments companies, we have 7 subsegments. We don't have lending companies, we have 5 subsegments. And this is something we're continuously improving, iterating through, and adding to as new trends come about, as new categories are created, or as categories start splitting up into more subsegments. So in the current version, we have over 50 segments and subsegments that help you sort through this data. Above that, we have explicit filters that look at different information to help you get to the companies that make sense for your bank. So that may be by region or geography, that may be by founding year, stage, the maturity of that company. So sometimes you may be looking for an early stage company, and sometimes you may be looking for a more mature company with lots of funding or lots of traction. And then we also just basically give you keyword searches as well to search on all the various topics that may interest you. And we'll get to a second what rocket profiles are, but we also include and started building out large fintech companies. These are your more traditional incumbents, like large core banking core providers or potentially old lending providers, or think of someone like PayPal or older that's been around in the financial services scene, but wouldn't be considered a brand new startup. We also keep a tab on those closed companies. So while most startups will not make it, as everyone knows, we want to make sure that those companies are still in our database, as they still provide rich information about what has been tried, what did or didn't work, and sometimes ideas are just at bad timing. So before I get into the rocket profiles, I think it's important to look at a company profile that's not a rocket profile to explain it. So let's look at a basic company that we created, and we'll take a well-known fintech startup called Cabbage out of Atlanta, Georgia in the United States. And they're a lending company. And we'll walk through the structure of a profile, and then on a rocket profile, we'll go through how you can engage and what data you can get through this. So the company profiles are structured with the taxonomy on top. So it's a lending company, online loans, small business, credit scoring. We have their demographics and their social data, so you can quickly find who they are. And then we start with the description, potentially some quotes about the company. But each company profile is set up in 4 segments. Focus, which is about products, services, revenue model, just the basics about a company. People, which is the people that work at the company, board members, advisors, employees, investors, who's related to that company. Traction, so how are they doing in the marketplace? This is a notoriously difficult thing to find out for smaller companies, which is where rocket profiles will come into play. But whatever we can find out, we put in here. And finally, momentum, being funding. How much have they gone through Series A, B, C, D, any institutional investors, any, these days ICOs or other things. And then as we just set up the rest of the profile, the left side are ways to either engage with, follow, or interact with the profile. And on the right side, you'll see related research from the MEDICI team, as well as insights on Let's Talk Payments and social media data that just to give you a full picture of who they are. We'll dig into each of these sections on a rocket profile here shortly. So that's the basics of a particular company. As you're working this tool, whether it's for market intelligence or whether it's to decide whether you want to work with this company or interested in learning more, this is where you can start looking at that, whether you go by segment or know a specific company that you may have seen on Let's Talk Payments or another fintech site. So let's go to a rocket profile and dig into these companies a little more to understand, how you would use the MEDICI tool and the context that it brings in fintech. So let's start with another company. Let's go to a PFM company called Monado. So if we're on the Monado platform, you're going to see one thing really different and really noticeable from the start. Each of those tabs I went over, whether it's description, traction, momentum, whatever it may be, it now has 2 tabs. The tab that is provided by the MEDICI team and the tab that's provided by the company themselves. So rocket profiles are profiles that the company themselves, someone from that company or multiple people from that company have come on and claimed that profile and are now giving you their direct words for what they're doing. So if you, again, go to this focus, people, traction, and momentum, you will now see 2 tabs of MEDICI analysis of the products and services and then the company themselves. This enables you to see information that you wouldn't be able to see without talking directly to the Monado team. And then if you multiply that by the thousands of companies that have rocket profiles on MEDICI, you'll now have a quick place to understand better all of these companies. So this goes throughout the profile here. And you'll see these locked fields as well. That's something that's only available to subscribers that have access to the rocket profiles. It's not something that you can get anywhere else. This is unique to the MEDICI platform. So let's say you're interested in Monado, and this is something you're looking at in the personal finance management space. So quickly you'll be able to understand Monado themselves in the context here. So on the left side, how do you engage with this profile? How do you use this? And first, if it's a company that you just want to keep tabs on, you can follow them. And this enables you to keep updates of what changes on the company profile, and you'll get emails and notifications both in the platform and in your email saying something's been updated about Monado and that you should take a look at it. You're going to be able to send them messages, and whether it's a Rocket profile or not, if we have contact data for the company, you can send them a message through the platform so you can directly start engaging with that company. You can have a discussion with other MEDICI members about a certain company or topic, and you can request a refresh from the MEDICI analysis team. So as we have 8,000 plus companies today and are adding thousands in the next couple of months, we are obviously going through that cycle of creating companies, updating companies, and keeping that fresh. With that, we want to make sure that customers who have specific needs or specific companies get addressed first, and using this refresh request button enables you to put your company at the top of the list, which our analysts will refresh this company profile in a couple of days, and you'll be able to see more information about that in its current state. The last thing is we want to make sure that we're getting information from you and other MEDICI members, and we know that while we are fintech specialists and researchers and love what we do, we always can learn more and get great information about companies from you as well. So you can suggest an update about something you know about the company or information that may have changed since it's been on there. Another element you'll see, and we'll get back to how this may be incorporated for your bank or financial institution, is you start looking at, okay, well, what classes and innovation programs that they've been in. So Monado, for example, has been a part of ATDC, FinTech Atlanta, the SVIC FinTech, and the Carolinas FinTech Hub. This gives you a sense of not only where this company's been, but they've also got good connections in a certain location, as well as other players in the industry. Again, that ecosystem of profiles enables us to make a complex network of what's happening in the financial services industry on a global level. If you go back to the right side, you're also going to start seeing how you get context about with research. So, for example, this is a personal finance management company, and you're going to start seeing personal finance management research. So this can take you to a research report in the research portal we mentioned earlier. So now you're not only understanding Monado better, but you're understanding their market better. And with your subscription, you're able to download and access all of these reports without paying for them on an ad hoc basis. If you don't have the research portal as part of your subscription, you are able to buy these individually as well. So we could take a look at this potential profile here, and these are PDF reports that are some are more slide decks for more visual, and others are very dense reading decks that are traditional research reports. So looking at this PFM one, this is more of a traditional research report that gives you context about what's going on in the personal finance management market. Another part of the research portal that's really unique to the MEDICI platform is value chains, and we call these out specifically on the companies themselves. So if you look at a value chain, which again takes you to the research report, but is something unique, value chains enable you to look at a certain segment of the company and break it down even further than just a basic taxonomy. So in this case, it's not just PFM, but where and who are the people in PFM that are adding value in different parts of the value chain. This is a really granular look that helps you understand the ecosystem, and all of these companies here are links back to the MEDICI platform so you can see their full profiles. Another item here that is unique is that Let's Talk Payments has thousands and thousands of articles and insights that we've been writing about fintech for, like I said, 4.5 years. And if we've written about the company or mentioned that company in any reason, you'll have direct access to go to that profile and to go to that article to get more information about the company, whether there's a mention in a certain article about PFM or specifically with that company themselves. All of the articles on Let's Talk Payments are free, which adds, again, more context, more understanding of the market and the industry that you're looking at. So, the last thing I'll say about a company profile is, some of this is discovery. So you may be using this because you heard of a specific company, or you saw a specific company in the news, or you found them. But at the same time, you also may be using the MEDICI platform to discover certain other companies. So at the very bottom of the profile, you can look at related companies. So who else is like Monado? Who else is like these companies, which enables you to go and discover and search the entire MEDICI platform, understanding who else you may come across that may work for your business. Aside from just the research itself, another way that this tool can be used and leveraged is, as a financial institution, as you're trying to understand or attract fintechs for a certain project, you can start working with the MEDICI team to create your own innovation program. So innovation programs, accelerators, incubators, competitions are not just for your accelerator programs anymore. Lots of financial institutions are creating ways to attract, to send outreach and to look for companies who want to apply and work with them throughout the year. And so what the MEDICI team can do is you can use MEDICI as that platform for your applications, for understanding, and for assessing the companies and fintechs you're working for. So you can create a fintech innovation program on our platform, use that as your application engine, and then also, then once you're assessing those companies, use the access to the MEDICI portal to see what type of companies are you looking at? Are these companies unique? How do they compare with others in the market? That, again, is all in this MEDICI platform itself. The last thing is I want to go to a couple more research items that we have unique. So, for example, we will have something called FinTech Foresights. We looked at value chains and traditional research reports before, and we're constantly adding the other items. But FinTech Foresights is something that we've uniquely created, where we're trying to show research in a new way, a more accessible but still rich and deep and understanding way. And FinTech Foresights is something that we will continue to do and add to. It gives you looking at the technology and the financial technology drivers of tomorrow. So this, for example, is IoT and financial services. And these are purposely made with the audience in mind, that they are experts in the field. They already know a lot about financial services and fintech, but how more deep can they go on a certain topic? And let's present that in a way that's easier to understand, that makes those connections instead of just charts, graphs, and long, dense papers. So the FinTech Foresights is something we're really proud of, and is something you can't find anywhere else. And finally, as a team or as a group of people coming at a financial services industry, using MEDICI as market intelligence, or to identify partners, or to make an innovation program, or to serve as your arm for understanding your own venture capital or M&A requirements. You can combine the context given by the research, the understanding by the company profiles, and the outreach to these companies via an innovation program. And then finally, you can use the platform to keep tabs on all of this. So like I said before, you can follow companies, you can follow investors, you can follow innovation programs, you can follow certain categories. So that's one place to keep tabs on what's going on in the fintech ecosystem, and then leverage the MEDICI team itself for additional services if you need it to take that to the next level. In the end, MEDICI really helps you build your fintech ecosystem. And we are a full service company that helps not only with the platform, but with any items, whether it's outreach, additional research, or understanding of how fintech can help shape your financial institution. Thank you.